This is part 3 of how to make your own quick website, and this section we're going to be going over divs and how to break up the website into different sections. So let's start by breaking up the paragraphs into their own divs. So to make a div tag, all you type is div, and make sure there's a closing tag wherever you want the division to end. So I'll put a div around both of these paragraphs here, so I'll close it after the second paragraph, so that encloses both of these paragraphs. So if I save that and refresh, you shouldn't really see a change. It's just something that's encircling both of these, but we haven't applied any changes to that div yet. So I'm going to copy that again so that I'll have two more paragraphs, and we'll try to make two different columns with those two divs. So if I refresh, you'll just see two more paragraphs below, but no change to the style or the way it's presented on the page. So we change divs by adding IDs and classes. I'm just going to be covering IDs. For the most part, they're the same thing, but they're a way to uniquely identify a div and how to style that div. So we'll call this one ID equals, we'll call this one left for left column. So we'll try to make two columns here. So that one goes all the way down to here, so that's one div, and then this div we'll call right. So the ID is right. Now the ID will link to the style section, and it'll look for an ID with those names. So we'll style it in that way. So this is how you specify an ID with a hash sign or a hash symbol, and a class would be with a dot before it. But we're only doing IDs today. So hash left, so that's how we specify that div that we want to style. And we'll give it a width. Since we only want it to be two narrow columns, we'll give it a width, say 300 pixels. And we'll give it, well, we'll just stick with that for now actually. And we'll apply that width to left and right. And we can do that by breaking it up here with the little comma in between, and it'll apply that width to both divs. So if I save it and refresh, you can see that it is a narrow column, but again, they're not two columns, it's only in one column. Now we need to float these two divs. So we want this to stick to the left side, which it's doing, but the div is also taking up the rest of this space here on the right. We want this div to float right up against this one as well and float to the left so that we get two columns. And we do this by specifying what's called float, and we'll say float to the left, and both of them will be floated to the left if we refresh this. So there you go, there's our two columns. If you were reading straight down, you would go down here and then look up again, probably a separate article or something like that. But notice how they're very, very close. They're basically touching these words, and you don't want that to happen. So we need to add a little bit of space or margin. So we'll call it margin since they're touching in the middle. I'll add margin left to both of them. So margin left, we'll add 50 pixels in between there, and that'll pop up on the far left side as well since we're applying it to the left of this one and the left of this one. So you'll see a space on the left side and a space in between these two. So if we save that and refresh, we can see they're nicely spaced out now. So that's a basic introduction in how to style with divs. There are literally hundreds of options you can do in CSS to change up the style. If you want, I'll even add some color or a background color to both of the divs. We'll just do something like red would be too bright. We'll just do black. And you can really just keep adding different things. You can add, see how these words are close to the edge here. You can add what's called padding. So margin adds space on the outside of the div. Padding adds space on the inside. So this section will still be black, but we'll just move those words in a little bit. And all you have to do is type the word padding, and we'll add the same padding to all of the sides on the inside. So we'll just do 12 pixels, and that'll be applied to all four sides of both divs, and those are nicely spaced out now. So that's our basic website introduction. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll probably be posting more information on how to make websites or how to design websites in the near future. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.